Game off, frustrating or nice break for the players?
No, I think it's frustrating, really. You know, especially when all the other teams are playing, because you know you get points behind when you get games behind, and you know you're forever thinking, well, if we win that or if we draw your game in hand, you know, and you're forever thinking something that's hypothetical sort of thing. So, no, we always like to play, but there was no way we could have played, and you know, I saw the facilities and how wet and you know horrible it was. So there was no way you could have got a game on our ground yesterday.
There was a few feet of water, I understand, in the dugouts.
Yeah, there was, and you know I don't sit or stand in the dugout anyway, so it wouldn't have affected me. But I'd hated to have fallen in it because I'm not very good a swimmer.
Looking back at the festive period now, I realise the game against Watford obviously called off. How do you feel it went as a club?
What was that?
Looking back over the festive period and the fixtures you've had, how do you feel it went as a club?
Well, not very well. You know, as far as results were concerned, you know, we had to. We was unlucky in the way everything caught up with us. Really, we lost a couple of our players, and we didn't have time to work on. You know, if we're going to survive in this division, we have to do a lot of relentless work on the training ground, and especially if we lose some main players in our team, because you then have to work very hard on the ones that have come in. Now, because we were travelling, and you know, travelling to 2 away games, that made it difficult to work with them. And you know, we got 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there, and with the weather as well, we had to do our set plays in a hall in a hotel. You know what I mean? All that sort of thing, and it was difficult. And along with that, the lads didn't perform on the 2 occasions. So of course we're disappointed with that. But you know, we got the second half of the season that we've got to really batten down the hatchets and make sure we get ourselves out there fighting on the football pitch and getting in that game mode, as it were.
And next up, Leyton Orient, 3rd round of the Cup. How big a priority is the FA Cup for you guys this season?
I'd rather stay up than win the FA Cup. I'm not sure which one's financially better for us, but of course, you know, we need to keep fighting in the Championship because that's going to be important to us as a club to try and stay in there for another season at least. But the FA Cup gives, you know, good finances if you like, if you get a big draw. And anyway, we're trying to create a culture and a feeling of that we don't want to win a football match, whatever competition. Or we don't want to lose a football match, whatever competition. Sorry, mate, you picked me up on the wing. Perhaps that's what I'm saying wrong to the lads. Yeah, you know, we want to go into every game wanting to win, not wanting to lose. And so whatever it is, then you know we've got to try and win it. So it's the FA Cup this week. We want to win it.
Orient potential banana skin.
Is it a banana skin? Don't know. What are they, two places in the pyramid below us? We've had good games and bad games against them. I don't know about banana skin, but it's certainly one that will be close. I'm sure it'll be close. They're going very well at the moment. And you know, we lost our last cup, although we was doing all right before that. But you know, the feeling is if we can get our game back and get to the game that we know is successful for us, then we'll get something out of it, and of course we want to be in the next round.
Former manager in Russell Slade as well. Do you think that will add a little bit of spice to the occasion?
I think it does for the people around the dugout area on a match day. But you know, his only crime was to manage this football club for a period of time. But he is in the opposition dugout, so you know, all opposition managers, including me, when I go away, I've got to expect some stick, and that's what we get. And I'm sure he's old enough and ugly enough to handle it.
And last one on the Orient game, just looking at it from a squad perspective, do you think you might do a bit more rotation for this game, save some legs for your next Championship game against Burnley?
Well, any rotation we do is only, you know, it's not a whole group of people anyway. You know, our rotation is, if somebody's got a little knock, then we might have to bring someone in. You know, but we're going to, every game we try and pick our best team for that particular game. Now, generally I don't leave people out to rest them if I can help it, because you know, I don't feel that players should have that as in their mind. Sometimes we leave them out because they haven't performed well, of course, and sometimes we say we're resting you when really what we're saying is we're dropping you. But you know, the lads they're a good group of lads. They're decent lads, they are, and of course we all know we're fighting above our weight, and what we've got to do is, I did say in the second half of the season, I think we'll pick up more points than we would have done in the first, and we've got to, of course. And I believe that because I think these lads are still learning, and they're still picking up the level of the league. They're trying to improve themselves, and hopefully we'll see a difference in the second half. But we keep coming up against, you know, opposition that's been at this level and more for a long time.
And I understand you guys have made a new signing today.
Yeah, we did. Matteo Lanzoni. Or was that a pasta I had last night? I can't remember. Yeah, that's his name, and he was at Oldham. We was quite lucky to pick him up, really, because obviously I've seen him a few times when I went to watch Oldham on a couple of occasions in support of Lee. I know Lee likes him, and he was doing okay, and Oldham really didn't want to lose him if they could help it, but they couldn't agree terms with him. They couldn't quite get to where the lad wanted to get to, because his contract was up on December the 29th or something, and he was on his way down to London to sign for a First Division club down there, so he'd already sort of turned his back on Oldham. And then I heard from an agent and Lee that he was on his way to sign for a First Division club, and they knew that I quite liked him, and Lee felt that he would do okay in the Championship. He didn't want to lose him, but he'd rather lose him to a Championship club than a First Division club. And as I say, I've always quite liked him.
What type of player is he, for people who don't know?
He's a typical Italian defender. You know, he's very strong. He trained this morning in the gym, so it's the only place we got to train at the moment, in Strike Gym, and he put a few in the boards. So it was like, welcome, you know, to the new lad, and here he is, smack, and you know, he's left a few. But yeah, he's a competitor, and you know, he gives us good competition for the centre half position, left back, right back. You know, he can play all across the back four.
It's a really important reinforcement for the defence then.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we needed. Liam Fontaine's gone back to Bristol, and of course we needed somebody. It's better. We're trying. Obviously, you always try to get somebody that's not alone, but that's very difficult in January because you have to pay money for people and etc. etc. So it's good that we brought someone in on a contract. That was what appealed to me really, as opposed to a loan, because there are rules where you're only allowed a certain amount of loans, under 21, over 21, etc. etc. There's rules that you can have some for 90 for standard loans for the whole season, half the season. But then there's also rules where you can't. You can only have them for 93 days. So we're juggling with that all the time. Now, if I started trying to explain to you exactly what I've just said there, you'd all be bored to tears and all be asleep. So, but we sort of are. We know what we're doing, and so we thought that was a good option to bring somebody in on a contract as opposed to an.
Any update on Adam Morgan?
Yeah. Well, Adam Morgan is he's now signed for us. You know, his contract was a loan up until January the 1st, which is now, and then it turned into a signing. And obviously he's only a young lad, but we think he's got great potential. We gave him a little carrot and when he first came, because the adrenaline kicks in, and I think we won a couple and drew one with him, but you know then it's going to level out a little bit, and he needed to get a little bit fitter, a little bit stronger, but he's doing okay, and he is a good finisher. We just got to make sure that we play the game that gets him into those finishing positions.
Is that it now for players signing and coming in, or do you think you've got a few more in the pipeline?
No, whether they're in the pipeline or not, we've got to bring one or two more in to strengthen, that's for sure. But you know, we've got lots of names, lots of people that over the last couple of weeks we've been talking to representatives and the players themselves and the clubs. So you know, the only time unfortunately you get to hear about it is when it comes off, you know, and that'll remain like that, I'm afraid.
Do they need to be championship players? Do they need to have experience at this level?
Well, we need to think that they're championship players. It'd be nice if we can get people in with experience at this level. That'd be fantastic. It's not always easy, because if they've played at this level, then generally they've been on bigger finances, as in salaries, etc. So most of the time we have to get people that we think we can make into championship players. That's really where we are, as opposed to bringing in ready-made ones. But you know, if we can get an Ishmael Miller or you know, people that have played at these levels, then you know, if we can scratch, battle and bite to get them in, then we will.
And my last one for you, any news on players going out to the club as well? Because I know that was something that you'd spoken about before.
Well, it's 4 weeks in January, and I've had a chat with a few of the lads, and again a few of their representatives, and you just tell them that, look, your future might be somewhere else, and so you need to be looking somewhere else, and that's what we've done with 3 or 4, and it's important that we, you know, for the moment we keep that to ourselves unless we officially put them out there, which some people don't like. You know, it looks like they've failed if they're out on the transfer list as such, you know, if you publicly say that. So, you know, clubs will contact us as well regarding players, like we're contacting other clubs, and then this is a real crazy time of business in January, and as it all settles down, we'll all get to know what's happening.
Take it there's no update on Paddy then, and whether or not he's going to be heading out during this period, or any offers coming in?
There's no update, no.
Okay, that's fine.
Thanks.
I was just going to ask, do you find each year that people are asking more for players? Is there just the price that clubs are expected to pay for players increasing all the time? Is it quite shocking, some of the economics, some of what some people think they're actually worth?
I think so. I think it's all about the situation that the club's in. You know, a club might need to be getting someone out to be getting someone in. You might need to be getting someone out because he's not conducive to the job that you're trying to do now at your football club. It might be someone that wants to move somewhere else into another area. So there's so many things that if you want to go and get Wayne Rooney, then you know how much that's going to cost, and you know exactly what he's going to do. But we have to obviously calculate everything and try and get the lads that you can. It's a situation that's conducive to getting them in. They want to be here. You want them for the finances you can afford. And if that, but obviously we've got to have a lot of players that we're talking to get that 1 or 2 that we end up signing.
Okay.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I think so. As much as I was going to get.
Just a quick one, Gary.
Yeah.
Obviously, what's just been said has pretty much scratched everything off my list here. But 2 players. You said Ishmael Miller.
Yeah.
Is that ongoing? You still?
Yeah, we Fonts has definitely gone back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's important that he sort of got in front of the new manager for a couple of weeks, and Ishmael Miller and Joe Rules, who are the other 2.
Yeah.
Joe Rules difficult to deal with anyone at Cardiff at the moment because no one knows, you know, until today, who it is, and obviously we now know it's Ollie. So I think he got involved with Darren's testimonial sort of thing, which was great. So Darren knows him quite well, and you all know him well. So hopefully we got a good in to keep Joe Rules around, because he'll only get better as well. And then Ishmael, I'm waiting for Nottingham Forest to get back to me today. Actually, tomorrow's the last day to keep it as a continuous loan. You know, after that it has to become a different loan. So we're waiting for Forest to get back to us. But as I said, I'd like to keep them both. And of course we've got Lundstrom and Duffy till the end of the season, which is good.